Students, myself Dr. K. Sivaya, Department of Pharmacology, Shantiram College of Pharmacy, Nandyal. Last video we discussed regarding about tuberculosis and classification of anti-tuberculosis drugs. And one drug also we discussed about that is isoniazid, or also we can call it as INH. Next we have to discuss about rifampicin, that is one more drug. So rifampicin is a semi-synthetic derivative of rifampicin, an antibiotic obtained from Streptomyces mediterranean. You know, semi-synthetic is thus 50% it contains natural and 50% is modified. This is a highly effective tuberculocidal. So it kills the Mycobacterium tuberculum. It's act on the both intra and extracellular organisms. It act on the both intra and extracellular organisms, and it is called sterilizing agent. So it kills the microorganism. That's why it is a sterilizing agent. So come to the mechanism of action of rifampicin. Rifampicin bind with the beta subunit of DNA dependent RNA. DNA dependent RNA. So DNA dependent RNA polymerase, you know, all enzymes made up of proteins. All enzymes are made up of proteins. So these polymerase inhibition of mRNA synthesis. So rifampicin bind to the beta subunit of DNA dependent RNA polymerase. So because of this, the polymerase, there is no formation of mRNA. If the mRNA is not formed, there is no transcription and translation. There is no translation. There is no proteins required for the to survive the organism. So there is no proteins formation in the organ. This is nothing but in the microorganism. So it automatically the organism will goes to die. So it cannot bind to human RNA polymerase. It is not bind to the RNA polymerase, human RNA polymerase. It's bind to the only bacterial RNA polymerase. That it is a DNA dependent RNA polymerase. So rifampicin acts on both gram positive and gram negative organisms. Both it will act. Non-tuberculous bacteria like M. canaceae and M. avium complex, and used in treatment of meningitis and leprosy and tuberculosis. Rifampicin acquires resistance due to mutation in DNA-dependent RNA polymerase. If in case the bacterial DNA-dependent RNA polymerase getting the mutation, because of that it is not bind to the rifampicin. So the organs again survived. So when it is a mutation happen in the DNA-dependent RNA polymerase, then automatically the organism getting the resistance to rifampicin. So pharmacokinetics. So is a well orally. So food decreases the absorption of rifampicin. So well distributed, well absorbed, but food interruption is there. But only 10 to 20% of drug reaches to cerebrospinal fluid. Rifampicin is a potent enzyme inducer. So it causes hepatotoxicity, but not isoniazid, not as isoniazid, and it is not teratogenic. It causes the hepatotoxicity, but not that much, not like isoniazid. Okay, not that much toxicity, but and it is not teratogenic. Yes, rifampicin can increases the metabolism of these HIV protease inhibitors. So their T off increases, and hence dose should be increased. So here the T off means the time required the 50% of the drug metabolized, okay, or 50% of the drug present in. If the time increases, dose should be increased. The time actually decreases, it is not written properly. So rifampicin increases the metabolism. So here what you stated, rifampicin is a potent enzyme inducer. So it is to activate the cytochrome P450. So the metabolism is fast. The rifampicin drug to induce the enzyme induction. So cytochrome P450 when it is activated, it is happening. So rifampicin can increases the metabolism of HEase protease inhibitors, and these are say anti-epileptic drugs and quinidine, warfarin, protocol. These are all when the enzyme increased. So these metabolism easily. So these, sir, understand my point. Here the point is these rifampicin increases the cytochrome P450 enzyme activity. So that cytochrome P450, the function is to metabolize these drugs. So the fast metabolism is happening. So increases the metabolism. When the increases the metabolism, so these converted into metabolites. Sulfonylureas derivatives and anti-epileptic drugs, quinidine and warfarin and propranolol, these are all metabolized fast. So these drugs metabolize fast. That's why it's required, dose is required more. So dose should be increased. We have to increase the dose. That's it. So hence in HIV patients, rifampicin is used, which is not a potent enzyme inducer as a rifampicin. Okay. So rifampicin contains metals and it undergoes enterohepatic recycling, hence excreted into bile and fecus. As a result, the urine, fecus, tears and tongue turns orange red in color. So it is excreted maximum in urine, but a few of the drug rifampicin, it is excreted fecus, tears and tongue, and there it is turned as a red in color. So the dose is 10 mg per kg per 1 day. So this is the rifampicin. Then uses, already I said that it is used in leprosy, tuberculosis and other infections and brucellosis, pneumococcal meningitis, pneumococcal. So the pneumonia, microorganism, these microorganisms to create the inflammation in the meninges of the brain. So we can use it there, and a prophylaxis of H. influenza and resistant to Staphylococcus infections. If we have any that organism, if the organism getting the resistance to particular antibiotics, if we used these rifampicin will be cured. So resistance to Staphylococcus infections to eradicate carrier state. To eradicate carrier state అంటే ఇక్కడ ఏదైనా డ్రగ్స్ అలాగే ఉండిపోయినప్పుడు బాడీలో దే causes the toxicity. So we have to eradicate. So these rifampicin, if we given, it increases the or enhances the metabolism by stimulating the cytochrome P450. So the dose is 25 mg per kg. Depending upon the situation, 10 to 25 mg, we can use it 10 to 25 mg. Next, pyrazinamide. Say analog of nicotinamide. You know what is the nicotinamide? One of vitamin. So it is a tuberculocidal. Tuberculocidal means to kill the Mycobacterium tuberculosis. So requires acidic pH for its activity. Pyrazinamide is required acidic pH for this activity. So mechanism of action is not clearly unknown, but so this is the possibility mechanism what they are observed. So pyrazinamide in the presence of pyrazinamidase in the enzyme summation, in the presence of enzyme, it is converted into pyrogenoic acid. This pyrogenoic acid inhibits the mycolic acid synthesis. So hepatitis is the most common adverse effect. So clinical uses half-life is 8 to 11 hours. So dose is 50 to 70 mg per kg per day. You can use for this or twice or thrice weekly treatment. That is mean and bactericidal and bacteriostatic used in both extra pulmonary and pulmonary tuberculosis. It is act as a bactericidal and a bacteriostatic. If you use a high dose, it is act as a bactericidal. If we use a low dose, we can use a bacteriostatic. Adverse effects of these pyrazinamide: hyperuricemia of a precipitating urine means uric acid more in urea, precipitating gout. So if the patient suffering the gout, it is if the goat patient is one of it is a it's a skeletal system సంబంధించిన disease ఇది. So at a gout, so it is between the joints, it will come. So these hyperuricemia in the uric acid levels increases the increases in the urine, we can call it as hyperuricemia. Metallic state, we can get the metallic state. Sulfurous erections and toxic hepatitis, you know, the liver inflammation, and arthralgia, nausea, vomiting, anorexia, and malaise, rarely photosensitive reaction. These are the adverse effects of the pyrazinamide. Next, come to the ethambutol. The drug is ethambutol. The mechanism of action of ethambutol is inhibits the arabinosyl transferase enzyme. Arabinosyl transferase enzyme. So these, when it is inhibited, there is no formation of arabinoglycan. So this is very essential for the cell wall synthesis. So it inhibits the cell wall synthesis. So it can prevent emergency resistance and kill the resistant forms. So this is ethambutol is the mechanism of action to inhibit the arabinosyl transferase enzyme. So for there is no formation of arabinoglycan, so there is no cell wall synthesis. Then adverse reaction, it can cause optic neuritis. Optic nerve inflammation is the optic neuritis, decreases visual acuity. Because of this, visual acuity decreases and no differentiation of red and green colors, but reversible it is. So if you get optic neuritis, it will come and go. That's why it is reversible. వస్తుంది పోతుంది. When the dose is more, you can get the optic neuritis. Even inflammation is there, there is no difference of red and green colors. When the optic neuritis came, you cannot differentiate the red and green colors. Next, teratogenic. It is produces the teratogenic. It is a teratogenic. But pyrazinamide is not a teratogenic. Rifampicin, it is not a teratogenic. So the dose is regarding 50 mg per kg. So it is once in a day. So streptomycin. So tuberculosis, this already we studied about the streptomycin mechanism of action. Already we studied, just to go through my video. So tuberculosidal, it is acted as a tuberculosis to kill the Mycobacterium tuberculosis. Acts on against extracellular organisms. Mainly it act on the extracellular organisms. Has to be given intramuscular. You can give the intramuscular. When used alone, resistance develops. So streptomycin we cannot use single in the treatment of tuberculosis. We have to give the another drug along with. So least preferred first line drug. It is a first line drug low. It is last preferred. So dose is 50 mg per kg once a day. So relative activity of first line drugs, if you observe, INH potent bactericidal, rifampicin potent bactericidal is a synergetic effect. And pyrazinamide weak bactericidal, ethambutol is bacteriostatic, streptomycin bactericidal. These are the comes under first line drugs. The streptomycin is in first line least drug, last one. So never use a single drug for the chemotherapy in tuberculosis. So this is very important indication, caution. So never use a single drug for chemotherapy in tuberculosis. A combination of two or more is always better. At least two is essential, or 3. So second line drugs in TB less effective, more toxic. Less effective and more toxic. Used only if organism resistant first line drugs. If the Mycobacterium tuberculosis getting the resistance to the first line drugs, if the microorganism tuberculosis getting the resistance to the first line anti-tuberculosis drugs, then they can prefer the second line TB drugs. So ethionamide and paracetamol, salicylic acid, cycloserine, and bacteriostatic act as a bacteriostatic. Amic acid, capreomycin, and fluoroquinolones are in multi-drug used resistant tuberculosis. And thiacetazone, this is also one of the drug is bacteriostatic drug, does not add the therapeutic effect. This is already I said that H means INH, isoniazide, S means streptomycin, Z means pyrazinamide. So, but it delays the resistance to these drugs. Half-life is 12 hours. So, no longer used due to major adverse effects is hepatitis and exfoliative dermatitis and Steven Johnson syndrome. సో ఈ వీటిలో ఎక్కువగా లాంగ్ గా యూజ్ చేయకూడదని చెప్తున్నాడు. And pyrazinamide is not used in this thiacetazone used in HIV patients due to incidence of serious toxicity. So it is mainly used in HIV patients. The dose is 150 mg per day in adults and 2.5 mg per kg in children. Next, ethionamide. It blocks the synthesis of mycolic acid and it is a tuberculostatic drug. It blocks the mycolic acid synthesis process. So acts on both extra and intracellular organism. So resistance to ethionamide develop rapidly. So microorganism, Mycobacterium tuberculosis, getting the resistance to these ethionamide rapidly. Cross resistance with thiacetazone, cross resistance thiacetazone is also seen. Half-life is 2.2 to 3 hours. Recommended dose is 1 gram per day. And these are the adverse effects. Anorexia, nausea, abdominal complaints are common. Next drug is cycloserine. So obtained from Streptococcus aureus. It is a D-alanine analog. And hence it is replaced alanine, which is essential for the cell wall synthesis. So it is act as a bacteriostatic to inhibit the growth of the Mycobacterium tuberculosis. It is effective against tuberculosis bacillus resistant to H, isoniazide and streptomycin. So and against atypical Mycobacterium. So if the organism getting the resistant to these medicines, we can use, and rarely used, and also this is very rarely used. Dosage is 250 mg twice in a day. Tolerated can be increased to 500 mg twice in a day. So if the patient getting tolerated, we can give up to 500 mg. So macrolide antibiotics also we can use, clarithromycin and azithromycin. You know what is the mechanism of action, adverse effects and pharmacokinetics of azithromycin and clarithromycin and fluoroquinolones, aminoglycosides, So here the overall come to the management of tuberculosis. So these are all the drugs we discussed, but how you can manage? That is a very important question. Sometimes they can the questions they can directly ask. The question is how you can manage the tuberculosis. They can ask directly. So like that, that's why I mentioned it. To kill the dividing bacteria in the lung lesions. First games aiming to kill the dividing bacteria in the lung lesions. To kill persistent so as to avoid the relapse and ensure total cure. To prevent the emergency of drug resistance. So if you fulfill these three, then automatically the patient will free from the tuberculosis. So if you take in patient, new affected patients, and previously treated patients based on drug sensitivity test. So if you take in these active tuberculosis, latent tuberculosis. So new law either one వెంటనే active tuberculosis కావచ్చు, నిదానంగా latent tuberculosis అయినా రావచ్చు. In previous in ఈ patient లో already less sensitive or more sensitive. We can decide, we can divide like this. So then after that, the phases of chemotherapy. So depending upon the patient situation and conditions and signs and symptoms, we have to administer the first line drugs or second line drugs. So 1 to 3 months in phase 1 low, 1 to 3 months rapidly kill bacilli and symptomatic relief. In phase 2, 4 to 6 months, so eliminates remaining bacilli, prevents the relapse. So this is the way how we can give the treatment. But this is patient how we can divide. These are the aims. These are the aims. As per the aims, we can divide the patient. Then after that, we can treat the phase 1 and phase 2. We can treat phase 1 and phase 2. So in initial phase, in phase 1, if you observe in phase 1, 2 months, so we can give the first line drugs initial. Then continuous phase up to 4 months, isoniazid, rifampicin and pyridoxine. First 2 months, these 4 drugs we can either 3 or 2 we can give with depending upon the symptoms. Next, objectives of tuberculosis treatment: to kill actively dividing bacteria, relieves the signs and symptoms. So isoniazid. To kill slow dividing and persistent bacteria, eradicate the disease and prevent. So relapse, rifampicin and pyrazinamide. To prevent the emergence of drug resistance. If the organism getting the resistance, so we can prevent that, we have to use the ethambutol. So this is the table. World Health Organization recommended doses of the first line anti-tuberculosis drugs. First line anti-tuberculosis drugs. So isoniazid. So first we have to take 5 to 4 to 6, 10, 8 to 12, 15, 15 to 20, 20 to 25 to 30, and 12 to 18. So oral, these are all oral route only, thrice weekly. Okay, weekly 3 times this call. Next, recommended doses of second line anti-tuberculosis drugs. So these are the kanamycin, amic acid, thiophene, cycloserine, and para-amino salicylic acid, and ofloxacin and levofloxacin, and these are all drugs we can give. Is there different intramuscular, oral route also is there, but up to 1 gram we can give. Depending upon these doses we can give, treat the patient if the is not cured from the first line drugs. So these are the drug resistant tuberculosis. So the Mycobacterium tuberculosis getting the resistance to the drug, that is called drug resistant tuberculosis. So mono-resistant, resistant to a single drug. That bacteria getting the resistance only one drug, either isoniazid or rifampicin or pyrazinamide or ethambutol. ఇన్నిట్లో ఏదో ఒక్క డ్రగ్కి మాత్రం రెసిస్టెన్స్ వస్తుందని ఏమంటారంటే మోనో రెసిస్టెంట్. పాలి రెసిస్టెంట్ మోర్ దాన్ వన్ డ్రగ్, బట్ నాట్ ది కాంబినేషన్ ఆఫ్ isoniazid అండ్ rifampicin. అంటే we cannot give the, if you given the single drug isoniazid getting the resistance, if you given the rifampicin single getting the resistance, getting the resistance. But if you given the combination 2 drugs, it's not getting the resistance. That is here the polyresistance means that the drug, the Mycobacterium tuberculosis getting the resistance to the more than the one drug. That is polyresistance, but not in a combination. So multi-drug resistance to at least isoniazid and rifampicin. The combination, this is combination. This is a combination. So extensively drug resistance. So in the combination, if you're getting the resistance, we can call it as a multi-drug resistance and extensively drug resistance. So he is multi-drug plus in the combination plus resistance to fluoroquinolones. In the combination of rifampicin and isoniazid, or in the combination of rifampicin ethambutol, or in the combination of rifampicin or pyrazinamide, along with the two drugs, along with if you get resistance of fluoroquinolones, at least one of the three injectable drugs, at least one, we given the injectable drugs, amikacin or kanamycin and streptomycin, if you get resistance, that's we can call extensively drug resistance. The Mycobacterium tuberculosis getting the resistance to combination of the antituberculous drugs, either first line or second line, along with any one or three, if getting the resistance of the injectable drugs, that is fluoroquinolones, okay, extensively drug resistance. Here extensively, we have to observe the drug resistance and the organism getting the resistance. Okay. So group of drugs getting the multi-drug resistance, a group of drugs. So group 1 first line oral agents, pyrazinamide, ethambutol, rifabutin. So three drugs getting the resistance. And group 2, these three getting injectable, these getting the resistance. These 4 drugs getting the resistance. Mycobacterium tuberculosis. These 3 combination getting the resistance. That is multi-drug resistance. So these multi-drugs combination ఇచ్చినప్పుడు కూడా నీకు రెసిస్టెన్స్ వచ్చినట్టయితే దాన్ని ఏమంటారంటే మల్టీ-డ్రగ్ రెసిస్టెన్స్ అంటారు. కానీ పాలీ రెసిస్టెన్స్ అంటే సింగిల్ డ్రగ్, no combination. We given the pyrazinamide drug getting the resistance. Next, we given the rifampicin getting the resistance. Yes. Next, we given the one more drug, ethambutol, getting resistance. So like that, if you administer a single drug, the organism getting the resistance one than the more drugs, that is called as a polydrug resistance. So there is no, don't confuse with the multi-drug resistance and the poly resistance. That is the difference. So groups of drugs for multi-drug resistance, group 5 agents with unclear role in the treatment of drug-resistant tuberculosis. So this combination also getting the resistance. A drug treatment of multi-drug resistance. So what we have to take for these precautions, how we can manage this. But this is the entire management. So management, how we can manage? If the patient, the tuberculosis patient getting the resistance of these combination, how you can manage? So these are the way how we can treat according to the World Health Organization, and this is, I am not remember, but this is one of the organization. According to this, so they can be given the treatment like this. So intensive phase 6 to 9 months. This is 6 to 9 months. Pyrazinamide 25 mg per kg, ethambutol 50 mg per kg, amikacin 50 mg per kg, cyclosporine 10 to 20 mg, afloxacin and levofloxacin. This combination they can give the 6 to 9 months. So we can give the treatment, we can treat the multi-drug resistant patient. Then if you take in the continuous phase, this is intensive phase. Then after 9 months, then after that we can continue up to 18 months. So by using the ethionamide, cyclosporine, ofloxacin and ethambutol. If you given the up to 18 months, so 1.5 years. First 9 months we can treat like this. Then after that we can give these drugs, same dose. These drugs, if you give the same dose, we can recover. We can treat the multi-drug resistant patients. This is the management. Drug treatment for tuberculosis in pregnancy. So this is management. So category 1, intensive phase 2 months, isoniazid, rifampicin and pyrazinamide. Next category 2, intensive phase 2 months, isoniazid, rifampicin, ethambutol. Next continuous phase 3, 4 months, isoniazid and rifampicin, and continues to 7 months isoniazid rifampicin. Like this way, we have to use. E can be added during late but not early pregnancy. S is contraindicated. అంటే ఈ మనము ఇక్కడ pregnancy, during the pregnancy we cannot add it in the ethambutol, but S is means streptomycin is contraindicated. Next, drug treatment for MSc in HIV patients. So here the drug treatment for MSc means Mycobacterium avium complex. Mycobacterium avium complex. Any Mycobacterium tuberculosis or Mycobacterium cholesti, any organism to causes the tuberculosis in HIV patients. So there, how we can manage? So any Mycobacterium avium complex. We already first video how I said what is that. It's an intensive phase 2 to 6 months. So if CD4 cells are less than 100 cells per ml, so we can treat these drugs, clarithromycin, azithromycin, ethambutol. Then after that 6 months, then again, so if this is 7th month, 8th month, 9th month, 10th, 11th, 12th. So this is first 2 to 6 months. Then after that this, so if the CDLs greater than 100 cells per ml, this is less than, this is greater than, we can give the clarithromycin or azithromycin or ethambutol or rifabutin. And rifabutin 300 mg per day plus maximum cipro and levofloxacin, either plus moxicillin, ciprofloxacin, levofloxacin, any one drug we can give the 500 mg bis in a day. Next, drug treatment for tuberculosis with meningitis. So intensive phase is 2 months. 2 months, up to 2 months we have this. After 2 months, 3rd month to 12th month. So continuous phase. H means isoniazid, R means rifampicin. So then after that we can give the clarithromycin with ethionamide and prednisolone. So preventive measures, we have to almost keep the mask to inhibit the transmission of tuberculosis, regular medical follow-up, isolation of a patient, ventilation is proper, natural sunlight is essential, and UV germicidal irradiation. So we have to maintain hygienic conditions and a healthy lifestyle and environment. We have to manage, and immunization, proper immunization also very, very important. So if we take these are all things, we can prevent the spreading and getting the tuberculosis. Next, disease vaccine. So Bacillus calmette-guerin is a very, very useful vaccine. Actually, nowadays coronavirus is there. Those are taking the proper immunization, especially BCG vaccine. If they taken, now they are getting the immunity. So those are getting the coronavirus already getting the immunity from the BCG vaccine. Because of BCG vaccine only now so many people are surviving. If you observe the so many number of people getting the recovered because of a BCG vaccine, you already immunized. Effective protecting children from the disease. It is a very, very effective, and also it's a very good vaccine. The duration of protection is 15 to 20 years. Efficacy to 0 to 18%. So should be given all healthy infants as soon as possible after birth, unless the child presented with the symptomatic HIV infections. If the patient HIV infections we can treat. Dots. Directly absorbed treatment. So dot means that trained healthcare worker or other designated individual provides that the prescribed TB drugs and watches the patient swallow every dose. Okay, so directly, so what is dot meaning? Directly absorbed treatment short course. So these are the trainers. So they are well known. They are well known about the treatment for the tuberculosis. So these well-trained persons, they can prescribe the perfect drugs for the particular time. Okay, and continuously they watches the patient. This is sometimes asking mm, and 2 marks questions also. Thank you, Ananda. And these are the questions I given. So I think first three questions already I given. But next is the so from 4th to 10th we have to submit, and one more important is management of tuberculosis. Very, 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 very important. So in that management of tuberculosis, we have to uh, how we can, if the patient getting the resistance, so that 4 5 stages of drugs we have to remember. Same drugs only, but first line of drug resistance, second line of drug resistance, that's we have to remember properly. And how we can manage the different conditions. At least 2 conditions we have to, especially meningitis and pregnancy. How you can manage, how you can manage if the pregnancy, the patient is the tuberculosis patient getting the pregnancy. So in that, how you can treat? Okay, in the meningitis tuberculosis, how you can treat? So this is the important how you can management. So thank you, Ananda. All of you make it as quickly as possible, the make it answers and submit as quickly as possible. And what I given time is very, very important, between the 9 to 10 for the boys, and between 3 to 4 for girls. So right mechanism of computer adverse and the uses of reforms and adverse effects and uses of INS. Better to write more matter and management of tuberculosis. At least you have to write 2 to 3 pages for the management of tuberculosis. I given only one question, but we have to write how to management of tuberculosis. Better to write 2 to 3 pages. Okay, then what is multi-drug resistant, how to manage in tuberculosis. So it will come in that one only. You have to manage it. Thank you.